Good morning and welcome to our Google Symposium. Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. We're going to get started here momentarily. We're waiting for our audience to come over. Good morning, Mr. Donahue's class and our students in Mr. Donahue's class. Nice to see you. We're going to get started momentarily here. Hey. Okay, my students come over here for a minute.
Good, how are you?
Leave your jackets. Put your jackets in the front row. Okay. Sorella, brought the 18. Huh? I brought the 18. How are you? Okay, so come over here.
Yeah, put yours in.
All right.
Mine's under.
So we've started our live broadcast. In a moment, we're going to have a group that's going to come over to be our audience over here. Presentation group 1. Okay, you're going to start, so you can come on up over here. Okay, where? You can hold on. So I believe our audience is going to be right in here. So we're going to, where you're going to stand. Slides 1, 2, and 3. Those two people will stand here, and the second half will stand over there. Everyone else can have a seat right over in here for right now until it's presentation group 2. Okay? Right back here. So your presentation group 1, right?
Yeah.
Who are you? Who are we?
Emma.
Okay. So you're going to start. Okay, and you go. And then Michaela, right over here. Okay, and Emma Oliveto, right over here.
Over here.
Okay. All right.
Session 2 meeting, because that's what Cole told me that he was going to be in.
So the next session, like in 45 minutes, come over here.
Okay.
All right.
And what about Buck?
She can come at any time. Jake's going to be going throughout.
Oh,
Yeah, any of the sessions. Yep. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our audience. My name is Brian St. Pierre. I'm a 5th grade teacher in Perryville, in the Comstock School District, obviously, the best school district in the world, in the universe, whatever you decide. And these are my students. They're the best students in the world also. Today we're going to be presenting to you on, 1, how we use Google Drive within our class, but 2, in addition to that, my students not only use Google Drive for our curriculum purposes, but they have become turnkey trainers, and they go into other classes in our school and they train classes on how to use Google Drive within our school. You'll see up here we're using Google Hangouts, and we have via Google Hangouts, today we have a 3rd grade class who's watching. I also have, you'll see seated along the back there are more of our classmates. They are going to be training 3rd graders today in a few minutes. And then later a 4th grade and a 5th grade class as well. And then back in my classroom here, I have another team of students who are there to answer any questions you have at the end of our brief presentation. Okay, so we are going to get started with our presentation. And give me just a moment. And this is also being broadcast live on YouTube right now for any parents who are at home and could not make it. So, okay, Marky, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Mr. St. Pierre's 5th grade class at Terraville Elementary. We're excited to have you here today so we can show you what we do with Google Drive. When we're finished, we have back at Terryville who will be able to answer any of your questions via Google Hangout. One thing that we love about Google Drive is that it's efficient. It saves us a lot of time when we are writing stories or essays, and we could go back and revise it after. So we don't have to be writing drafts over and over. It also allows us to easily organize our folders into our new folders. We also love Google Drive because it gives us the ability to have our work a more polished and professional look. Through Drive, we use Drive, Drive to create folders, folders, and edit and publish our work. Through Drive, we use slides, docs, and several other apps to create our work.
One of our favorite aspects of Google Drive is the ability to collaborate. Drive gives you the ability to share your work with others, thus they can either edit, view, or comment on your work. We use it to collaborate with classmates and teachers and in our school community. By using Drive for group work, it spreads the work out more equitably than it would when we do it on paper. We have the ability to access and complete work remotely with Google Drive. We can easily continue work we started in class when we are at home. We have even had students that were out of state and completing classwork from there by using Drive.
Because we teach Drive, we are required to have a deeper understanding of what we are teaching. Therefore, we have learned a lot more about Drive so that we can now pass our knowledge on to others. Our students who have learned to use Drive have become turnkey trainers who can now pass their knowledge on to others. This has provided a real service to an ongoing cycle of teaching. When we teach Drive, it requires us to reflect and look back on our previous knowledge. This has given us a better idea of how to appropriately and efficiently use Drive.
We now have the ability to teach other students. Students learn the skills and efficiency of Google Drive. Students, teachers, administrators, and even school board members have benefited. Additionally, we've improved our self-confidence. We also have the ability a lot more than ever before.
Someone close the door.
Thank you so much for allowing us to visit. On the way out, please take your business card. By scanning the QR code, it will take you back to our presentation where you could access some of the links, examples of students' work we made using Google Drive. Thank you. We have classmates back at the classroom to answer any questions you may have via Google Hangouts.
Okay, so that's the end of our presentation. So now, for any, let me get out of here. For any of our audience members who have questions about what we do, how we do it, anything you want to ask my class, we have students back in our classroom who can answer for you.
Come a little closer, Gianna and Brian.
You guys want to give a wave?
Go ahead, wave. You can see it, Gianna.
Does anyone have any questions? They want to know if we have done Hangouts to conference with anyone outside of the best school district in the world.
Have you ever done a conference with anyone outside of the school district? Gianna, come up here to answer.
No, we really only use it for inside the district, for talking to people that are in Comstock.
People in Comstock.
We have used Skype for conferencing outside that. Kind of transitioning to yes. They have. I have permission. At the beginning of the year, I have a permission slip that allows them, my class, to use on images and videos. Any other questions? Okay. The question was, can any of you talk about how this has helped to improve your self-confidence?
Someone take it. Rob, go ahead. Has it helped improve your self-confidence?
It helped because I don't have to worry about saving, and it's easier to do because you don't have to keep on writing paper copy after paper copy.
But how has it improved your confidence? How you feel about yourselves, things you're capable of doing, that sort of thing.
Proud and better.
Okay. Thank you.
You wanna- Yeah.
You had a question? Okay, when it comes to being able to teach other people Google Drive, what are some of the hardest things to be able to do? Like, what are the challenges that we face trying to teach other people?
You have an answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
The challenges are spelling ComSwag.
Spelling comswag. Challenge, Charlie. Go ahead.
And when they never used Google Drive before, and it's really hard to teach them
Why?
because like they don't know what to do.
Okay.
And also, it might be one hard thing to teach them is how to share documents, because like some people keep on spelling ComSwag wrong.
It's really that spelling.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. All right. So this question is, what is one experience using Google Drive that you think was the best thing that we did, the most positive? And then what is one where you feel like we could maybe use it better? Okay, or could have been improved?
Come up, Jim. You have an answer?
Yeah.
Come up.
I think
The best thing?
the best thing was probably Powtoon.
Which is what?
It's an ad that through Drive that lets you create little like slideshows. And
The worst.
the worst,
Part?
I think we could fix Simple Booklet a little.
What's that? Explain that.
It's another app you can get through Google Drive. It lets you make little kind of like brochures.
And what's wrong with it?
I think we can kind of make longer ones maybe,
How
because
could
we've done it for short projects.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to add? The best or the worst? Something they would like Google to fix for you? No problems you run into? Brian, do you have something?
I also like the collaboration feature.
That's your favorite part of it?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would want Google to fix?
No.
No? Okay.
To kind of build off what they were saying, one of the things we like about Drive is that it's not just, docs and slides, and the ability to connect apps and stuff to normal users, like how to like simple booklet, things like that. The simple booklet, I remember we had some trouble, if I remember, like that was sometimes when we ran into some issues when we had apps outside. But the Powtoon went really well. Yeah. Okay. What we're going to do before you move on, actually, oh, you already gave them that. Okay. So we have on the business card, if you scan the QR code, it'll take you to back to our slideshow, and on the last slide, there's 2 examples of some of the work that we've done. So I think one of our Powtoons is on there, one of the simple booklets, and one of
It's the holiday shopping.
the holiday shopping, which was a math project we did that we then presented. Um, Thank you very much. You're free while you wait a couple minutes to go to more minutes. Free to ask any of my questions, and then we'll rotate through. Um, okay, you guys back there. You guys can have a seat and wait, and the next group is going to be coming through in 2 minutes. Okay. See, there's the turn. Oh, this is kind of cool while we're waiting. So what's going on now after our questions answered? These are my trainers. The rest of my class is now training a third grade class in our computer lab. What we did as a class, we created a user manual, basically, or a trainer's manual that we call it, so that now when you send out to work with other classes, train them, kind of have this common principle. So, I think for as a teacher, it's something that's important. Good.
And then we can hear them. Okay.
Why doesn't presentation group come on up? You guys.
You can have everyone into the station.
Right? So nice.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
No one's even here.
nobody else here yet.
Thank you.
What? Two more. You have to answer two more questions.
Not really at all.
Um, Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian St. Pierre. I'm a fifth grade counselor at the Terryville Elementary School. These up here are my students. They're going to be presenting to you over the next few minutes about, one, how we use Google Drive in our fifth grade class. We use it almost exclusively for our writing curriculum. And two, how, in addition to us using it in our class, we basically created a class of turnkey trainers, we call them, who now go through our school to be able to train other classes. Google Drive. As a matter of fact, we'll show you in a minute. There is a third grade class being trained in our computer lab at Terryville right now. But the rest of my class is back there. So these four young ladies and gentlemen are going to present to you, and then we have via Google Hangouts we have another group of students back at our school who will answer.
One thing that we love about is that it's efficient. A lot of times when we write essays, we don't have to write our drafts over and over again. It easily allows us to skip one draft and go back to revise for it. Otherwise, we would be writing a copy after. It also easily allows us to store it. We also love Drive because it's more polished, professional. Use Drive to create, edit, and publish our work. Drive, use Shop, Slides, and several other apps.
Yeah, they just so let's see.
Okay. So as Jake said, you're going to be take a bow. As Jake said, when before you leave, you're going to want to grab one of the business cards from him. You can scan the code on there, and it will bring you back to our presentation that links to just some samples of work that we've done. Now, you can see that's back in my classroom. I have another group of students who are there to answer that you may have. You're also going to see that watching our earlier presentation, and all this is by Google Hangout. This is the remainder of my class who's in our computer lab, and they're training a third grade class right now on how we use Google Drive. So this kind of gives you an idea, from our three locations for how we do this. And we're also broadcasting this live on YouTube right now. And I know at least one parent's watching because they just called and asked to get. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask, and we'll have our team of experts. Ben, you don't have a good question?
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Blader wants to know, was it hard to learn how to use Google Drive?
Is it hard? Go ahead, Brian.
No, it wasn't hard to use Google Drive. It was pretty easy.
Gianna wants to add to that.
I used it last year, and my accounts were the same, so I kind of already knew what Google Drive was like, and I already had
Idea?
Yeah, I already had some like a deep understanding of what it was.
Okay. So the question is, how do we access and how do we use Google Drive in our class?
How do you use it in your classroom? What types of things do you do? Go ahead, Charlie.
Well, we make documents and we make slides, and sometimes we make Google Sheets
Right, and for what though?
for projects.
For projects. Anything else? How do you use it? Where do you use it? How do you use the collaboration feature?
How do you do it?
Yeah. How do you use it in your classroom?
And also, you can, it has a collaboration feature. You could, you have to click the,
Like if Mr. St. Pierre posts something, what can you do? You can comment.
you could put on comment, view, or edit mode.
And I think your question might have also been in terms of what does it look like, where do we? We have a computer lab that I hog a lot, and I've gotten in trouble for it. No, we have a computer lab that we use right now. My class is in there at least one period a day because I do strictly my entire writing curriculum in Drive. So they all have their own computer within there, and on any given day it could look different because sometimes they might all have an individual piece that they're working on. Other days you might see them collaborating on a piece. It could be across the lab, and they're collaborating on a common document. And we use sometimes like the Google Chat feature, right, within Drive to be able to communicate across the lab that way. So it's, it really, there are other times where we're all sharing a common document, and they're all editing one document at the same time. So, but it is in a lab, in terms of what you see there. Any other questions?
It seems like your class has spent a lot of time learning Google Drive and incorporating what you learned. And I'm just curious, what is one of your favorite assignments?
Okay. All right, so the question is, what is one of your favorite assignments that you've done using Google Drive?
Anyone? It's easy. Talk about it. Good. No, it could be anything. Go ahead, Gianna.
I think my favorite was when we used Powtoon, which is like an app where you can make like slideshows.
What's special about the slideshows and Powtoon?
You can add different effects.
And animations?
Yeah, animations, and it looks really cool.
So that was your favorite? What was yours, man?
My favorite was when we did, we were all working on a document when we did Lewis and Clark. Like, everyone in our class was on the same document. I thought that was pretty cool.
Anyone else?
I think to kind of to just build on what the first student said, one of the things we like is that it's not just docs and slides and sheets and things like that. Through Drive, we have the ability to access things like Powtoon, like Simple Booklet. We've used other apps that are outside the normal suite of apps. And so for elementary students, it's kind of convenient because they don't need their own personal email address or anything like that to be able to access it. So for me, it gives me the sort of opens up a whole array of different types of things that we could use that would otherwise sort of be a hassle.
Talk about your end. How did it work with getting these accounts and all that stuff? How does that?
Well, in our first year, it gets easier each year.
Yeah.
You know, the first year it was brand new to all the kids. I don't know if it was this session or the last one, but they'll tell you in the beginning one of the hardest parts for them is just logging on because they have Comsawag in the username, and that's a big spell. You know what I mean?
Right.
I spell it wrong half the time, and I've worked here for 13 years. You know, but in the beginning we spend lots of time. You know, like our first time in there, our first period of the year in there probably is just logging in. You know what I mean? And it is figuring out when we can't get logged in, it's not because it's not working, it's because we misspelled something or there's a period missing or that sort of thing. That's gotten easier each year because, like Gianna said, you know, many of the classes now have used it in the past. So even if they haven't used it extensively, most of them now come up to me with some sort of prior knowledge that they can use. You know, most of them can now at least log in, and like this year we were able to do that a lot more quickly. But the first month or two was really just, you know, knowing our way around the homepage of Drive, you know, the Drive homepage, knowing just some of the basic things, how to open a doc and create a doc, knowing how to share something or access something that's been shared with you. But they learn pretty quickly, and so I would say by, you know, October, November at the latest, they were able to really start branching out and doing a lot of other things.
Did you mention that this is also streaming on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
So for parents or somebody else sick at home?
Right. This is so we're using Hangouts right now, and you can see down here or up here it shows that we're live. And so in Hangouts you can broadcast things live on YouTube, and it also uploads it to our YouTube channel so that you know, later on, if you were so impressed that you just want to make a bucket of popcorn tonight and watch it again, you can go home and it's on our YouTube channel. And so yeah, so that's what that's one of the big benefits to Hangouts. It's one of the reasons I personally prefer it over like Skype, something like that. There's a lot more possibility. Now I know Al's talked about doing some PD through Google Hangouts, where we do. Are you going to do like an hour a week or something? Yeah. So any other? Yes.
One of your students in class mentioned that she had a login last year, so that she should fourth grade. What's the lowest grade level that gets a login or school? You haven't gotten there yet, or just down to third or second?
Every grade level has it.
Every grade, even kindergarten.
Now, how many of you used Drive last year in fourth grade? Okay. What about, did any of you use it in third grade? Okay. So there's a few. I don't think we had it before then, right? Okay. So that was so you can see a few of them. They're on their third year now, and so they and I think probably each more year they have the ability to use more things. So for me as a fifth grade teacher, my goal is so that I can send them up to Mr. Walsh over there at the middle school, or that, you know what I mean? And like, I actually wish I could steal away for a few minutes and see what's going on over there, because I'm always curious to see how we're building on it at the next level. But it's you know, so it's exciting for me to be able to give them those skills that, you know, skills enough that they can present now, and I know they'll be in good hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
for reading and writing instruction. Um, I wouldn't really say, I mean, I'm sure there's some out there. For most of my writing instruction, it's stuff that I've done previously. Like, to give you an example, stuff that I have previously, like, written on chart paper and hung in the room sort of thing. Now I create in a doc, and I share it in a document with them. So in the lab, they can all open the, so it's like they all had that piece of chart paper up, you know, and then, or if there's templates I want to make for them, I can do that sort of thing. I can share it with them. They can make a copy and then edit that template sort of thing. So there's not specific apps I use. No. It's more that I've taken things that I've done in the past and just applied, you know, what Google gives us to be able to improve on. Right. 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 For me personally, that's it's just more like I'm the type of guy where if you give me a piece of paper, I put it on my desk and it like disappears into the vortex of, you know, and like then I go through in June, I'm like, oh, I remember this from October that I was supposed to do something. So for me, it's easier for me in that sense, you know, organization-wise. And it's, you know, in the past when had tried to do things, you know, I'd get kids who maybe would make PowerPoint presentations. They'd bring in a, you know, a flash drive. They'd lose the flash drive, or it'd be a different version of PowerPoint. You know, so it's that we're all using the same common tools. That I can easily take something and share it with them, and they can share it back. That they can work on things together. Like as one of them mentioned, you know, we've had kids who, you know, would say, "Oh, I'm going away for a couple days. You know, I'm going to be missing school." You know, and in the past, it's kind of like, well, you can't really replicate what you're doing at school. But it's not that you can replicate it now, but it's a lot easier to say, well, you know, you can go into Drive and you can access these things. You can see the things I'm going to be sharing with you. You can work on your things from wherever it is. Okay, we're going to rotate. Thank you very much. Okay. Presentation group 3. Oh, we have plenty more. Okay, one more, guys. Okay, Lusos, come here.
A lot of people. Well, there's more than one. Oh my God, there's the auditorium.
Thank you.
That took a lot. Oh, good.
Oh, excellent. All right, works for me. Okay. Can you guys see the presentation now back there?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, we'll give it to Maggie. Okay. Hey, good morning, guests. Thank you for coming today. My name is Brian St. Pierre. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Perryville Elementary School, which is right around the corner. These are obviously some of my students. They're going to present to you for a few minutes, one on how we use Google Drive, and then 2 on how we've been able to take what we know and start to train others within our school. Right now, well, you'll see their presentation, then after that, we have students back in our classroom who can answer any questions that you may have. We're using Google Hangouts for that. And then we can also show you still another segment of our class who's back in our Terryville Computer Lab, and they're training a 3rd grade class as we speak. So we have a lot of moving parts today, but we're trying to show you really everything that we're doing. So, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are from the CPS 5th grade class at Terryville Elementary. We are excited to have you here today to show you how we've been able to use Google Drive in our class this year. When we finish, we have classmates back at Terryville who will answer any questions you have via Google Drive. One thing we love about Google Drive is that it's efficient. It saves us lots of time when we're writing stories and essays. We're not writing our drafts.
Otherwise, we read easily allows us to see things and organize them. Also, look.
One of our favorite aspects of our responsibility drive things quickly, share your results, allow them to edit, use their comments. These collaborate with classmates,
Okay, so we are going to now. Okay, so now you can see we have, here's, as I mentioned, our class, well, they're waiting on another class to come in. That's where they're doing the training. And then here we have our question and answer panel who's going to be able to answer any questions that you may have. Any questions?
You guys have Chromebooks as well, or does that
No.
start?
The Chromebooks, I'm not sure what grade they start in. I actively harass people to try and get them, but I haven't been successful in that yet. We have a computer lab. We have one lab for our building. I would say, from my perspective, that's one of our challenges so far, is just being able to access it. If it were up to me, we would spend our whole day in there, but we don't have that luxury. So typically on any given day, my class gets 1 or 2 periods a day in there. I do my complete writing curriculum within Drive, so usually that's what we're doing in there. So that's how we access it. But we're certainly hopeful to get Chromebooks.
Sign up, or is there schedule?
Well, it was available at sign up until I started taking all the periods. And so then what had to happen is it kind of got scheduled out. What happened early in our use of this sort of stuff, there probably weren't as many people who used it. You know how it goes. But then as, we're in our 3rd year of having this access now, so I think over that time, more people started to use it, and the lab became much more in demand. Any other questions? Any questions for our kids back there? Okay, well, Mikey's going to come around. He's going to hand out the business cards. As he shared with you, if you just scan the QR code, takes you back to our presentation. You can see links to student work from there, and just some samples of things we've done. I'm going to have just, while he's doing that, my kid share with you some of the more, oh, you have a question?
Yeah, actually,
Oh, question.
okay. I
Right.
just want to know.
Okay, you guys ready? So this young lady's question was, how often do you access your Google Drive accounts, or how often do you go into your Google Drive accounts and use them at home?
Go ahead, Rob.
Like at home, I usually go on once or twice after school, and like during school, we usually go for like one period a day.
Anyone else? How often do you use it at home? Go ahead, Gianna.
I often use it at home, like when I had to finish last minute projects for homework. But we use it here about every day, pretty much. Okay.
All right, do you guys, while we have a few minutes, you guys want to share what maybe some of your favorite parts of using Drive are, or what some of your favorite assignments or projects we've done with it are?
One of my favorite parts is the ability to collaborate because you don't have to like share a piece of paper with people like you could have like you and like a bunch of other people could work on the same document
At one time.
anytime.
Yeah. Anyone else? Your favorite parts? Favorite apps? Gianna?
My favorite app is Powtoon, and it lets you create slideshows, and it's cool because you can add special effects.
Anyone else have a favorite app or a favorite project you've worked on? Charlie, hiding over there. Any favorite apps?
Yeah, we have another question here.
Oh, okay.
I think Powtoon. Well, yeah, Powtoon is one of the things that it's not part of the normal Google Suite, but you can, get those. So the other one, I'm not sure if you said Simple Booklet or just Google Slides that they use also. In different ways. Sometimes they'll just share it with me directly. Sometimes we've used shared folders where they just drag it into a shared folder. But then honestly, probably the way I see it most frequently is that they have their own blogs in my class, and so very often in order to turn in their assignment, they are required just to embed whatever they've created into the blog. So it's easy for me to go see that it's there, that it was done when it was uploaded. That's
Have you found it for you? Or like easier or more complicated?
it's made my life considerably easier because, like I was sharing with the last group, I'm the type of person, and my principal can vouch for this, if you give me a piece of paper, you never see it again. Like it disappears, so I don't, and so for me, I love knowing that it helps me to keep me more organized. And so, it makes it really simple for me to know if, for example, they turned it in by sharing it with me, it makes it really simple for me to just go see, has it been shared with me, when was it turned in, sort of thing. The other thing that I really love about it that makes my life easier is, in the old days where maybe you used Word or something, and we would have like these catastrophic problems where they forgot to save, things like that. So the fact that one, it saves automatically and we never have to worry about that, or two, the whole revision history feature that allows you to go back and look at all the revisions that have been made, so that every now and then, and you guys can attest to this, someone will accidentally delete everything, but it's no longer a crisis because we just go back to the previous revision and we restore that, and crisis averted. So, for me, those are probably the big things, along with just the collaborative aspect of it. Just makes it a lot more. I find makes it a lot more student-centered, and it's a lot less of me standing at the front directing, and it's more working together. So, yes, sir.
What were some of the challenges?
I'll get them to answer, and then I'll share with you. Okay, guys, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in learning how to use Google Drive? What are some of the hardest things?
Let it just like come on up. What were some of the hardest things?
One of those hardest things was logging in and spelling correctly the ComSwag.
Yeah, and I can, especially in the beginning when they haven't logged in before, and this each year as they've used it more and more, this becomes less of an issue. But because ComSwag is in the username, before I've worked here 13 years and I probably still spell it wrong half the time. That can be a challenge. So like we have that like posted in the computer lab now. If it's not logging you in, it's not because it's not working. Make sure you have GUE or whatever. So in the beginning, just those basics, getting logged in is like, and I know I talked to some of our third grade teachers who are new to using it, and that it takes like a period to get everyone logged in. But those things now it's. All right, I think that's our session. Yes. Yeah, like I was showing, you can, well, this class is going to watch our next presentation, but then you can see my kids in the background there. When they after they watch the next presentation, they are then going to train those kids on how to use it. So, yeah, it's students training students and, in some cases, teachers. Yeah, exactly.
I need to go too. So Xavier, can we go to the bathroom?
No. Okay, good morning, Mrs. Tufo's class, right? Okay, you guys can hear us okay? All right, we're going to get started in just a moment with our presentation. I'm sorry we're running a few minutes behind schedule, but we're going to get started with our next presentation momentarily. And then after you guys finish hearing us, you're going to get to work and start using Google Drive a little bit. No, not right now. Okay, hey, question and answer, people.
Hi.
We're going to get started momentarily, okay? All right.
Remember, you gotta be really close.
Going next. Now,
Don't get us there.
No, Alexandra's in the bathroom.
go, Matthew. All right. Now, guys, come here for a second while we're waiting for the next group to come. They're having a lot of trouble hearing us back there. Okay, so one, if you're not presenting right now, you can go. You have to go with them. You have to be back like within seconds. Okay. Yep, you guys can come on over, have a seat. So you are going to, I want you to stand a little bit closer to here because this is the mic right here, and you have to be loud. Okay, you see how it gets lost in your voices, right? So get your spots, tuck in a little tighter to the yeah, tuck in a little tighter. You're gonna come in tighter too. You guys almost right up against it, okay? Just gonna wait for a couple more people. Okay, so good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. My name is Brian St. Pierre. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Terryville Elementary School around the corner. These are some of my students. They're going to be presenting to you this morning, A, on how we use Google Drive in our class, and B, on how we, in turn, have started to train other students and school board members in our district on how to use Google Drive. You can see back at Terryville right now in our computer lab, we have another class, a 5th grade class, who's listening to us, and then my students seated along the back by the window there. Can you guys wave back by the window there? They're going to then be training that 5th grade class when we finish. And then when we're done with our presentation, any questions you have will be answered by our question and answer team back in my classroom. Okay? Okay, so give me just a second.
You just start to answer questions. Your step.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Comstock High School. We are from K-10, fifth grade class at Terryville Road Elementary School. We're excited to have you here today so we can show you how we drive in our classes. When we are, if you have any questions, we have classmates at Terryville that will be able to answer any questions that you may have via Google. We love Google Drive. It saves us a lot of time when we are writing stories or essays. We don't have to write our drafts over and over again. It easily allows us to type one draft and then go back to revise or edit it. Otherwise, we would be writing paper copy after paper copy. It also easily allows us to support and organize things. We also love because we use Drive to create, edit, and publish our work. For Drive, we use Docs, Slides, and several other apps.
One of our favorite aspects of Google Drive is our ability to collaborate. Drive gives us the ability to share it, you, or comment on your work. We use it to collaborate with classmates, our teachers, and others. By using Google Drive, that's how we do work. It spreads the work out more equitably than how we do it. We have the ability to access and complete work in Google Drive. We can easily finish our work from when we started at class all the way to home. We even had kids out of state and finished their work there.
When we teach Google Drive, we are required to have a deeper understanding of what we are teaching. Therefore, we have learned a lot more about Drive so that we can share our knowledge with others. Our students who have learned Google Drive
I went to 111.
This has provided a real service to our school, and it's an ongoing cycle of teaching. When we teach Google Drive, we are required to reflect on our learning and refine our understanding. We have a better idea of how to appropriately and efficiently use Google Drive than we did in the beginning of the year. Because we now have the ability to teach others how to use it, more students in our school learn the skills and efficiency of Google Drive. Students, teachers, administrators, and even school board members have benefited from our ability to teach what we've learned. Additionally, we've improved our self-confidence and have the ability to do a lot more than ever before. Thank you so much for allowing us to present to you today. Please make sure you take a business card from us before you move on. By scanning the QR code, it will take you back to our presentation where you can do some student work that we created in Google Drive and then published. We have classmates back at Terryville who can now answer any questions that you might have via Google.
Okay. All right, so we are going to take a bow. Okay. So we are going to have any questions that you may have answered by our question and answer team here. Does anyone have any questions to start off with? Mrs. Blader, is that a hand up I see?
How long have you been using Google Drive?
All right, so for each one of you, how long have you been using Google Drive? Is this your first year, or what other previous years have you used it maybe?
We'll just go down the line. Go ahead, Darwin. Have you used this before?
Yeah, I used it in 4th grade and 5th, so I used it 2 years.
Paul?
This is my first year using Google Drive.
Trevor?
A second year.
Good. Alexandra?
My first year. A second year.
Good.
I think that also kind of is, as we've gone, I think this is our third year we've had the availability of Google Apps in Comstock, and I think what we're finding is as we go here, there's more and more people willing to use it also. So what I've noticed as a teacher is each year has gotten a little bit better in terms of what they come to knowing how to do already. So the fact that most of them have used it for this year was certainly helpful for me in getting my class started and off the ground. Other questions? Okay. What part of Google Drive do you like best using?
Well, part I like best about Google Drive that it automatically saves, and that you don't have to write paper copy after paper copy.
And anyone else?
I like Google Drive because you can share it with, I think, however many people you want, or there might be a limit, but it's definitely past a regular class number. So.
Anyone have the apps maybe? We'll talk about those. Anyone have a favorite app?
So that's the app. We use apps like Simple Booklet and Powtoon that help us do presentations.
We use like through, in addition to the normal Google suite of things, you can connect to other apps in there, which as an elementary teacher is helpful because they don't need to have like an email account sort of to sign them. So Powtoon is probably the app we like best that we've used. We also used one called Simple Booklet, which is a good like publishing. It allows you to make little booklets or brochures that we have a class blog, so we were then able to take them and embed those booklets into our blog. Any other questions? Yes?
Talking about sharing documents.
Can you guys tell us, is it easy to share a document?
Yes, very easy. So,
let Tyler speak.
Okay, you can speak. You can speak.
Go ahead, Jeff. Take it away.
Actually, it's very easy to speak. Like,
To share.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't speak today.
Trevor, you also find it easy to speak too, right? Who can tell us how easy it is to share a document?
It's easy to share a document because there's 3 modes. There's comment, view, and edit. And like when I shared to my teacher, I only had to put 1 letter in, and his account was there. I just pressed it and pressed share, and it automatically saves and shares with him, basically.
That was nice and simple.
Good.
Anyone else with any other questions?
Do they use the comments and suggestions when they share with each other?
Okay. Do you guys do you use or have you used or how do you use, I guess, like the comments feature on when you can share and comment? How have we used some of the commenting features?
Maybe someone haven't heard from him.
Come on, you can speak.
How do you use the comment features?
Go ahead, Cole. I can tell you want to say something.
We use the comment and suggest features to, it's kind of explanatory, to suggest different things to the owner of the document or slide or form, whatever you have.
Good.
So what you're saying is you will comment on one of your peers' work or one of your classmates' work and kind of give each other suggestions?
Yeah.
Yep, basically.
Yes, sir. I've never assigned them any to use Google. The student accounts at the elementary level don't have the Hangouts. So the only place we've used Hangouts is like we'll use my class account to do things. So far with in terms of Hangouts, we've mostly used it to we do it with this to record ourselves practicing this. Then we've watched it back, that sort of thing. We've made them trying to think. We've used Skype to communicate with some other classes in different places. And we're more just starting to get our feet in Hangouts. Yeah, can you guys tell? Have any of you been able to collaborate using Google Drive from home? In other words, have you been able to work together on anything outside of school using Drive?
Savannah, go ahead.
Yeah, because like you can do it anywhere you want.
Have you done it before? How?
Like
what project?
The egg drop project.
Okay, talk about that.
Like my group, like we did the egg project. Like we've been collaborating with that.
Using Google Drive?
Yeah.
That's actually doing that egg drop project now, and that's actually interesting. That wasn't even an assignment for me to use Drive to collaborate on it. I basically gave them a project in a group, and I said, you guys are going to have to come up with your ideas. So for me, that's kind of exciting to hear that they're using the technology now on their own. And, I suppose at home they started to communicate and create a common document. I have a website. I have a class blog. And within that blog, all of my students have their own individual blogs too. So I'm not yet using Google Classroom as a site. That's kind of next year probably. I've kind of been learning about that this year. It's kind of hard to midstream sometimes. But I use a class blog, and they all have their own blogs. But the way we kind of integrate that with Google is that a lot of the work they do in Drive, they're able to then publish on their own blogs. They're able to take slideshows or documents, or they're able to take like how-to things that they've created in Drive and embed those into their blog. Okay. Any other questions before? Yes, ma'am. Okay. You guys want to answer, what sort of technology do we have in our classroom that allows us to use this?
How about Alexandra? Yeah.
Alexandra.
Alexandra, what type of technology do you have in your classroom?
We have a smart board and a computer.
And what else?
The tablets.
And then besides that, how do you use Google Drive? Where else do you go in the school?
We also go to the computer lab.
At least what? Like once a day?
At least like once a day. So, also we were lucky enough to get a hotspot in our room. It's back by the teacher's desk. So that's how we use the tablets.
To kind of build on what they shared, the bulk of the work they do in Drive is in the computer lab, because that's the only place we really have one-to-one. Sometimes we will, sometimes I can access a document on our smartboard in our classroom, but I only have one computer there. We just got a number of tablets, but I personally find it's tougher to use like the Drive on tablets. It's lots of different apps you have to download for each thing within Drive, and they're not as good with the touch keyboards as a traditional one. So I'm really hoping that after we really hit it out of the park with our presentation today, that the district will give me one-to-one Chromebooks next year. So, and I do have a hotspot in my classroom, as you know. So, I think we gave out. Did we give out the business cards? Excellent. So I encourage you to kind of scan the code and access the links on our last slide there, just to see some of the work that we've been doing. Okay? All right, thank you. One. Yeah, I used to go several times a day until I was, what happened is, the longer we've used this in ComSWOG, the more people have been willing to get involved and use it more, and so now the one lab has become much more in demand sort of thing. So I don't get as much time in there as I would like, but I understand why. And to an extent, I'm happy I don't, because it means everyone else is using it also. And so that's why I'm going to get Chromebook. I don't know if I made that clear that that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, there you go. All right. Thank you very much. You guys just, yeah, if anyone from this task group,
Shanana.
what is, are we on our fifth presentation? Are we going on to our fifth one?
Prometheus.
Jake.
Okay, guys, we're just waiting for our next to come through. It was better. We could still definitely be louder. There's really no loud enough in here. It just our voices. They're having trouble hearing us back there.
Yeah, it feels really weird. Because like they're right in front of you, and for them to hear us, you have to be like yelling.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, even back a few rows, it won't even seem that loud to them. So yell it if you have to.
Yeah, Shannon, you nailed that. Jellyfish. How exactly did where does it go on Snap?
We'll show you later. It's on our blog.
Oh, it's right on that post. Right on that.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, for this next one, because this is the mic, we're going to want to tuck in as close as possible to here, okay, and really project your voice, okay? Guys, the mic's we want to tuck in as close as possible. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian St. Pierre. I'm a fifth grade teacher at Terryville Elementary School around the corner. These are my students. I'm with them anyway. The remainder of our class is back at Terryville, and we have one team of them who will answer any questions you may have after this presentation. And then another team of them you will see is training another fifth grade class right now in terms of how to use Google Drive. So these students are going to present to you on, one, how we use Drive in our classroom, and two, how we are now able to teach other students, teachers, and others in our school community. Take it away.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Mr. St. Pierre's 5th grade class at Terryville Elementary. We are excited to have you here today to show you how we've been able to use Google Drive in our class this year. To finish, we have classmates back at Terryville who will be able to answer any questions you may have via Google Hangouts. One thing we love about Google Drive is that it's efficient. It saves us lots of time when we're writing stories and essays because we're not writing our drafts over and over again. It allows us to type a draft and then easily go back and revise and edit it. Otherwise, we'd be writing paper copy after paper. It easily allows us to store things and organize them into folders. We also love Drive because it gives us the ability to have a more polished and professional work. We use Drive to create, edit, and publish our work. Through Drive, we use Docs, Slides, and several other apps to create our work.
One of our favorite aspects of Google Drive is the ability to collaborate. Drive gives you the ability to share your work with others and allow them to either edit, view, or comment on your work. We use this to collaborate with our classmates, our teachers, and people in our school community. By doing this, we spread out the work more equally than if we did it on paper. We can easily access and complete work remotely using Drive. We can access work we did at school at home. We've even been out of the state and completed work remotely using Drive.
Because we teach Drive, we are required to have a deeper understanding of what we are teaching. Therefore, we will learn a lot more about Drive so we can pass knowledge on to others. Some of our classmates who have learned to use Google Drive have become turnkey trainers who can now teach other students. This has provided a real service to our school. When we teach Drive, required to reflect and refine our understanding. Therefore, we know a lot more about Jive than we have in the beginning of the
Because we now have the ability to teach others how to use it, more students start to learn the skills and efficiency of Google Drive. Students, teachers, administrators, and even school board members have benefited from our ability to teach what we've learned. Additionally, we are self-confident and have the ability to allow. Thank you so much for allowing us to present to you today. Please make sure to take a business card before you leave. By scanning the QR code, it will take you back to our presentation, and you can use some of the examples that we created. We have classmates back in the day who can now answer any questions you may have.
Okay, so what you'll see here is we have first back in our computer lab, there's another 5th grade class back there right now, and as I mentioned, I have students who are training them right there. And then here is our question and answer team, who's going to be able to answer any questions that you may have. So, any questions? Yes.
I'm a 3rd grade teacher. What grade did you start doing all of this in?
Okay. So the first question comes from a 3rd grade teacher who wants to know, what grade did you guys start using Drive in?
I started
in 4th grade.
Alexandra?
I started in 5th grade.
4th, 5th, 4th. But I still think that it's so easy that even 3rd graders could definitely use it, and we just teach 3rd graders.
We have, to build upon what they said, we have 3rd grade classes now that are starting to use it also. When they were in 3rd grade, this was brand new to the district, so as we've moved along each year, I think it's gotten lower and lower as we started using it. Their typing's very good, most of them. I would say the bulk of them probably type faster than me. Well, I don't know what's the earliest grade level to use it. Every student in the district down to kindergarten has a Google account. I don't know if any kindergarten teachers are using it. I know, did any of you students here use it in 3rd? Okay, Victor used it in 3rd, you used it in 3rd, Michaela used it. So some of them, prior to that, when they were in 2nd, I don't think we had it yet in the district. But so I'm not sure if it's being used in the primary schools, but certainly. Anyone else? Okay, good.
Better now? Yeah. What was your learning experience like? What trouble? In 3rd grade, for most of it, we really didn't do a whole lot. Pretty much just used Google Drive for typing drafts and just using the docs, but now we're using it for so much more. We're doing spreadsheets, presentation, we're using different apps.
Maybe some of you guys can chime in also. What were some of your challenges when you first started using it, and how has that changed now? So, like, what has become easier? What have you gotten better at?
Go ahead, Darwood.
Well, when I started, I wasn't that good at remembering my password and stuff. So now it's really easy. I just couldn't do that in 1 second.
Anyone else?
Yeah, for me, it was hard logging in, and when I got it down, it was easy. But sharing, besides logging in, was one of the hardest things at first.
That was the hardest thing at first. Anyone else? No, just logging in, really.
When they talk about logging in, part of their username is the first part of the username @comsolog.com. So, as I was saying before, Bill spelled Comstock wrong. You know what I mean? So that is when we first started, even in fifth grade, especially my first year and second year in fifth grade, when in the beginning of the year, it would take like a whole period to get the whole class done. You know, but by the time, but after a couple days of that, then we got past that. They figured out if it's what are the likely problems, you know, and so that's never an issue anymore. You know, even this year, we still dealt with that a little bit the first couple days, but it was, I would say by October, November at the latest, they were able to branch out and do a lot more than just, it's so much more than just writing drafts, so much more than just creating documents. You know, what I'm proudest of with them this year is that they've been able to do, to branch out so much. I mean, we write drafts, we do all of our, my whole writing curriculum's in Drive now. But they do so many other things now too. They mentioned connecting to different apps outside the Google Suite, but then they do. We've done many presentations. We just actually last week we learned Google Forms, right? And we made a book survey. So now they're going to be starting to. So you know, we always start with our you know, whole class versions of these things, and then they start independent.
Slideshow, is that like a PowerPoint?
Yeah. Who can share with this gentleman what Google Slides are?
Google Slides.
Google Slides. Google Slides is like a presentation. For example, the slide that you just saw, or the presentation, whatever you want to call it, that you just saw, that was a Google Slides creation.
So yes, it's Google's PowerPoint version. It's a little maybe a few less bells and whistles, but it is very very easy to use. Yes. In addition to that, the other thing they do in my class, they all have their own blog. So they'll create presentations on things, and then they've learned how to embed them into their blog. So that's another way that so sometimes they'll just share it with me directly. Other times I'll know to go to their blog and I'll see it there also. Yes?
I know this presentation is while I out, but looking forward.
I'm just, as we go through this year, I'm kind of familiarizing myself with Classroom. I think there's the whole integration with Drive is an exciting piece to me. So my plan is to use Classroom next year in conjunction with other things that I already use. Like, I like that they have their own blog, so I'm not going to abandon that because it becomes almost like an online portfolio for some of that. So you know, I view it sort of as another tool in the toolbox. I use KidBlog, kidblog.org. It's great because it's free. I mean, not really. I mean, you can build sites through Google Sites. I've done that in past years of classes, but I personally don't. I'm not a huge fan of Google Sites. I find it cumbersome. But that's just me. So for me, I use KidBlog. I'm looking forward to using Classroom next year in conjunction with it.
What was Classroom using that destination?
I think it's just a really nice, from what I know of it so far, and again, I haven't really used it a lot yet, it sort of streamlines the ability to post assignments and collect them really easily. It also gives us some more protected space to be able to post things, and that's it. Not everything is public in the world, so just where it is. All right. We have one lab. Yeah, we go, my class is in there one or sometimes periods a day. In the last group over here, I was heavily advocating, with my principals over here, it's heavily advocating to get one-to-one Chromebooks next year. Yeah, it's mostly all done. And I mean, that's the only tough part for me is that I feel like we could do a lot more if had. Yeah, exactly. Keep shouting that. Tell everyone you see. Thank you very much.
Had wave goodbye.
There you go. What? We're doing the next one. We're not done.
Going right now.
Yeah. We're just working. Is this? We're going to the third part of session 2 now, right? Okay. Okay.
Thought we were done.
So we have one more session left here. No. We have one more piece here, then we go to session 3, and then we're done.
Oh, okay.
Wait, the microphone's right there.
Don't get
Yeah.
that. He's staring right into the light.
That and behind it.
Yeah, he's gonna look.
We have one more.
I already did. There's a lot of sophisticated.
Sophisticated. How do you know this?
Because they have suits on.
Because they look so.
Yeah. Yeah, they have the monocle.
Yeah.
The monocle.
So this is our 6th one coming,
They
right?
put the across his head. And they changed.
Just Google crush mark
And they changed. They put the.
Thank you. Thanks for all the questions. Thank you. There you go. Oh, so you got that message came across? Shh, okay. Okay, so listen. Presentation group 1. You're going to want to. This is the microphone right here. So you're going to want to tuck in. Now you don't have to do that, but you want to tuck in close and really project your voice.
Second rotation.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm blind.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably do that. Flip it at first.
32. Now, this is your second time doing this, right? And everyone else has gone twice, right? So this is the 6th. This is the 3rd rotation of group.
We practiced.
It doesn't really seem like we have an audience.
Yeah, right?
Because we teach
drive.
Okay, yes. Remember, when we're done. Okay. Terryville people, it looks like right now we are not getting an audience for this session.
Aww.
I mean,
Dang it.
that's okay.
Let's do it with us.
Why don't we just save it for the 3rd one? Well, let's see if anyone comes in. We may not have a.
Everyone do jazz. Do jazz just
That is the. That is the help desk. See that boy standing up? He's the one who created the Symposium site, and I had him in 3rd grade. And the girl sitting on the stairs behind him, I also taught.
I feel like I recognize the girl on the stairs. I don't know.
Is that Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
How come we not getting it? Do it.
We're so entertaining. I already got it.
We're so popular.
What's that?
Okay, guys, come on over here. They're being trained. They've already heard our
They already
presentation.
heard it.
They're being trained.
It's also not fair if they don't present.
Should we see how our training's going?
She's eating it early.
With the rat.
Alexander, I'm going to.
Okay, do me a favor, just sit down. Okay?
All of us?
I saved your seat.
Oh, excellent. We have an audience now. Okay.
Okay, it looks like
So this is
We're getting an audience.
very likely your assistant principal when you get the vice. So, so you want to make sure that this is your opportunity to really get off on the right foot, right? Okay. All right, question and answer panel. We have a one-person audience now, so get ready.
go.
And Miss Benna, that's right. Two
And
people.
Victoria.
She's seen the presentation.
Once or twice.
Yeah. Lost in the class.
Okay, so talk. And
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Mr. St. Pierre's 5th grade class at Taravera Elementary. We are excited to have you here today so we can show you what we have been doing in the drivers. When we're finished, we have classmates back at Taravera will answer any of your via Google Hangout. One thing that we love about Google Drive is that it saves us a lot of time when we are writing stories. We are not writing our draft over and over. It allows us to type and then easily go back and revise it and edit it. Otherwise, we've been writing paper copy after paper copy. It also allows you to store things and easily organize them into folders. We also love how Google Drive gives us the ability to have our work a more polished and professional look. We use Drive to create, edit, and publish our work. Through Drive, we use docs, slides, and several other apps to create our work.
One of our favorite aspects of Google Drive is the ability to collaborate. We use Drive and in our school community. You can share your work with others and that allows them to either edit, view, or comment on your work. By using Drive, you can spread the work out more equitably than on paper. We have the ability to access remotely with Drive. Work when we are at home, and students have automatically incorporated their writing.
Because we teach Google Drive, we're required to have a deeper understanding of what we're teaching. Therefore, we have learned a lot more about Drive since the beginning of the year, and we can now pass our knowledge on to others. Our classmates who have learned to use Drive have become turnkey trainers who can now pass their knowledge on to other students. This has provided a real circle, and it's an ongoing cycle of teachers. When we teach Drive, it requires us to reflect and look back on our previous knowledge. This has given us a better understanding of how to appropriately and efficiently use Drive since the beginning of the year.
Because we now have the ability to teach others how to use Drive. More students in our school learn the skills and efficiency of Google Drive. Students, teachers, administrators, and even school boards have so much for for you. Scanning the QR code, it will take you back to our presentation where you can access those examples of that we created with Drive. If classmates back in the class, you can answer questions
Okay. Okay, so now for our audience that we have here, if you have any questions that our okay, the question is, what's your name and what grade are you in?
Wow.
Savannah?
Savannah, and I'm in 5th grade. Alexandra, and I'm in 5th grade.
Trevor, I'm in 5th grade.
Cole, I'm in 5th grade.
Darwin, and I'm in 5th grade.
What about that boy in the middle?
They should laugh. They should laugh.
My name's Trevor, and I'm 5th grade.
Go ahead. We're you guys can probably head back to the lab and let the other question and answer group come down for hopefully we'll get a big audience for the next.
I'm gonna walk them down. We'll be right back.
Person in the flannel.
My name is Summer, and I'm in 5th grade.
Summer? I can't wait for summer.
Yeah.
My name is Mark Anthony, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Michaela, and I'm in 5th grade.
My name is Emma, and I'm in 5th grade.
So I just wanted to say you guys were awesome. Probably one of the best groups today.
Yeah.
So I look forward to having you all in the high school eventually.
That's the one time.
I feel so amazing.
Mr.
The one time only I'll do the yes chant.
Look at me.
Now we oh.
That's disgusting. I mean, Mr. St. Pierre.
Stop going.
Okay, really, really not what I'm looking for. Okay? So what I'd like you to do while we're waiting, okay, because the next session with a whole host of people is going to start in a few minutes. So while we're waiting, why don't you just have a seat?
Okay.
If you want to talk to each other, that's fine. Okay? What I don't want you doing is making faces in the camera or doing things like that. Okay? So Marky, when I said have a seat, then that implied I wanted you to sit in. How are we doing on business cards?
Go say hi to your mom. I already did.
Mark's jacket.
That's Mr. St. Pierre.
Keep it together. Keep it together. You gotta come up.
Yeah, I said to Marky the one every time.
What?
Let's see if is Fitzgerald's class in there yet? Or is that's still too far? So I don't remember what time. I think 11:15 if we get to the next one. Or 11.
Oh my God, Sam, I'm sitting in the back. Pretend I start bouncing you and you can bounce you.
Shannon, your mom's here.
Yes, I know, Marky.
Oh.
I don't want it.
Start bouncing you and you can sing.
I can't. My stomach's growling. I can actually eat you.
You know what time?
It's rude.
Don't be terrible.
Let's just go.
Let's go stay in about because I'm good. Let's go.
Merry Christmas, kids.
And now a whole other big group should come in. That's gonna split it. Yeah, because what happens, you know how there's different sessions? Well, another session is up in the library. So like these people now will go back up to the library.
Are they like on it and we're touching here?
It's not the easy thing.
What time it is?
What time is it?
It's 11 a.m.
Maybe everyone's getting one session. Our job is just to present. I can't control who comes over. Just
Rebecca,
sit
sit
here.
here. Oh, they're using.
It's so warm over here. Here, stand over here.
Rebecca.
Yeah, I know it.
oh, is that right?
Butterfly. You guys can
That's still two floors.
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah,
Here, Cheryl class coming in now?
They should in a couple minutes.
No, but Cheryl class. There's something to eat here. Going swimming.
Great stuff, guys.
Thank you.
I think you know Tori Malvetti.
I do know
She worked
Tori
with
Malvetti.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
She's
She
one
was
of my
in for me
students.
last year.
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
Yeah. So whole thing. Yeah.
So where do you know her from?
I teach Stony Brook, so she's
Okay.
taking my Stony Brook class.
I got
Al also, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys know Miss Malvetti, right? Yeah, she's
She's
great.
at Longwood now.
Yep. Yeah, I
But-
think she's doing 6th grade now.
Yeah. I understand she spoke very highly of you. So.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
And great job, guys. Really loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Pedro.
It's okay.
Vacuum and
Hand
class.
sanitizers liquid that's and here's hand
All right.
Oh, you guys get to go 2 times in a row?
No.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Let's go hand sanitizer.
Session 1
And
to
your
1.
take your hand sanitizer.
Session 2.
Yes,
Session 3.
Yeah.
So you finger.
The back.
And we
My hands smell bad now because I drank the jam.
we just kept drinking a lot of
They're bad. We had
Mom's just like
Oh, you have that.
Did you figure it out?
Lotion's not disinfector.
So
Shannon, it's called like
Shannon, we're doing
it's called like this. Yeah, it's like something like hand lotion.
And then she's doing then. Let's
Oh,
go.
okay.
Shannon.
That's
Marley,
fine.
they don't hear you. Shannon. Let's go. Shannon.
Okay. I just, okay. All right. I just want to make sure. There you go.
Yeah. Do a birthday dance. Shannon. Go, Mikey. Bring it down, Mikey.
Oh, what?
I'm so hungry. Someone just said hello.
You're like Patrick.
Someone said hello. Mikey, they see you.
Oh my god. Not bad.
Ready? Push my foot.
Or hit the back of your head on the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emma.
You're not in there.
Emma, go away. What do you do? Happy dance. You have to where's that from? I see them dancing.
I still call fire.
Do the happy dance.
Okay, Marky. Thank you. No, there's going to be more people. I think this session officially ends at 11:15. More people are coming down.
What are you doing, Miss?
Jamie,
Miss.
5 minutes.
Angelina, this is my hand.
Jamie, what the heck?
Get away from the camera.
Okay, Mr. St. Pierre,
Somebody's
Mrs. Spanner's going to get a group. And then you know what I'm going to do? Symposium group selfie. First, guys, come back here. Come on.
Hi, this is Mark. You. Yeah, you Mrs. Fitzgerald's class. 12. An hour. An hour.
Smile. Say Google. Good. Okay.
Selfie. Selfie.
Come here. This is how we'll do it.
All right.
Okay. Everyone behind.
I got 5 hands.
We did a symposium selfie.
I got 5.
After you say get to the summer, did you say get to the? We did
Okay, so let's have a seat now because the next group's coming down, and we're really going to start. You guys are starting.
I'm like pushing out of
All right,
the
you can
selfie.
see,
I was holding on to her because I was falling and then she fell.
So if you guys can be, could just keep it down because I'm going to talk to Mrs. Fitzgerald's group, who's coming in. Good morning, Mrs. Fitzgerald's class. How are you? Can you hear us okay? Can you hear us?
I don't think they can.
Their microphone is mute at the computer lab right now.
Oh, okay. Can they hear us, though?
Shake
Or-
your heads if you can hear us in the computer lab. I don't know if they turned it on.
They probably can't hear us. Cole, if you can hear us, wave your hand. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. So, Mrs. Fitzgerald's class, we're just running a few minutes behind today. We're waiting for the next group of adults to come downstairs. And so then I'm going to have a group of students who are going to run through a presentation here for you. They're going to speak nice and loudly so that hopefully you can hear it. And then my team of trainers in the back there along the window, they're going to train you a little bit in Google Drive. Now, I know you guys use it already, and you know how to create docs and share them with your teachers. So they're excited about that because they get to show you some things that are maybe a little more advanced that they couldn't do with the other classes. Right, Savannah? All right.
That's what I did, Shannon.
Question and answer team, are you guys ready?
Yeah!
We've had some really good questions today, so be prepared.
Okay, I will.
What I did, Alex.
Woo! Go to escape.
Okay.
I know. Well, they've seen it. They've seen it already. The presentation.
They're just here for the children.
Okay. All right, so let's get started. All right, so you guys want to tuck in so you're near the microphone so that, remember, it's not just who's here. You're presenting to a 4th grade class at Terryville, so your voice has to be loud enough. So good morning, ladies, well, no gentlemen, ladies for this session. My name is Brian St. Pierre. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Terryville, which is, are you guys with us? Okay, yeah. Morning. All right. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Now. My name is Brian St. Pierre. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Terryville, around the corner. These are some of my students. Back at Terryville, you'll see other students of mine via Google Hangout who are both training a 5th grade class or a 4th grade class there now, and then who can answer some questions for us. So my students right now are going to give you a presentation on 1, how we use Google Drive in our classroom, and 2, how we are able to become trainers for Google Drive and how we train others as well. All right. Ready, guys? Go ahead.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Miss Cynthia's 5th grade class at Taylorville Elementary. We are excited to have you here today to show you how we've been able to use Google Drive in our class this year. When we finish, we have classmates back at Taylorville who will be able to answer any questions you may have via Google Hangout. One thing we love about Google Drive is that it's efficient. It saves us lots of time when we're writing stories and essays because we're not writing our drafts over and over again. It also allows us to type a draft and then easily go back and revise and edit. Otherwise, we'd be writing paper copy after paper. It easily allows us to store things and organize them into folders. We also love how Drive gives us the ability to have a more polished and professional look. We use Drive to create, edit, and publish our work. Through Drive, we use Docs, Slides, and several other apps to create our work.
One of our favorite aspects of Google Drive is the ability to collaborate. Drive gives you the ability to share your work with others and allow them to either edit, view, or comment on your work. We use this to collaborate with our classmates, our teachers, and people in our school community. By doing this, we spread out the work more equally than if we did it on paper. We can easily access and complete work remotely using Drive. We can access work we did at school at home. We've even had been out of the state and completed work remotely using Drive.
Because we teach Drive to others, we are required to have a deeper understanding of what we are teaching. Therefore, we have learned a lot more about Drive so they can pass the knowledge on to others. Our students who have learned to use Google Drive have become turnkey trainers who can now teach others too. This is provided a real service to our students. When we teach Drive, we are required to reflect and refine our understanding. Therefore, we have learned a lot more about Drive at the beginning of the year.
Because we now have the ability to teach others how to use it, more students in our school learn the skills and efficiency of Google Drive. Students, teachers, administrators, and even school board members have benefited from our ability to teach them what we've learned. Additionally, we have improved our self-confidence and have the ability to do a lot more than ever before. Thank you so much for allowing us to present to you tonight. Please make sure you take a business card from us before you move on tonight. By scanning the QR code, it will take you back to our presentation. And you could use some of these links to access examples of student work we created using Google Drive. We now have classmates back at Terryville who can now answer any questions you may have via Google Hangout.
Okay. All right. So these are, as we told you, this is a Mrs. Fitzgerald's class. Give a wave. Okay. Well, they're behind Mrs. Ports there. So they watched our presentation, and then our trainers are going to train them after this Q&A session here. In question and answer team, give a wave. There's 4 more of our students who can now answer any questions you have about the types of things that we're doing. So any questions, anyone? Mrs. Spano, any questions? Okay, so the question is, what have been some of the favorite projects that you've done using Google Drive?
I liked when he made a poster of
using what?
Google Drawings.
Uh-huh. What was the poster for?
God. What's his name? What's it?
Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, okay. Anyone else? Favorite? Go ahead, Wesley.
I like using Google Drawings too because it's fun because you get to make posters and you get to scribble with the scribbly lines and all that stuff. It's fun.
Anyone else? Janet?
I also like Google Drawings because we can still collaborate on that and there's more things to do.
So you could use text boxes and drawings, right?
Yeah, and comment.
comment on other people's
Yeah.
weddings.
Edit.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. All right, so Matthew Walsh, she said she wants you to answer. If if so, say you're preparing to start training someone who's brand new to Google Drive, where would you start? What are the first types of things you'd show them?
I'd start by telling them how to sign in.
And then
Creating documents.
All right.
And the incoming, the shared with me and your drive.
Well, before you can show them how to find documents shared with you, what might you also want to show them?
How to make documents.
And then how to do what with them?
Share them.
Okay, good. Actually, my class, we created together as a class, we created a training manual where we would, and one of the, they start, it seems like the obvious thing, we're going to teach them how to log on, but it is, we've talked with some of the other groups, it's particularly a challenge because the word ComSolog is in all their usernames, and that can be a beast to spell. You know what I mean? So in the very early stages of this, when they first start to use Drive, and they're trying to get logged in, it often takes like the first time, like a period, to get the whole class logged in. So I think they probably remember that, and so that's often one of the challenges. But we quickly got beyond that, right? We're able to do a lot more. We do find one of our favorite features is the ability to collaborate and share things with each other. And as a teacher, that's what I find separates Google Drive. It's a lot more than just the opportunity to create word process documents. Anyone else with any questions? All right, I have a question. What do you think are some of the most important things that people should know about Drive, and what are some of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome?
One of the big challenges you had to overcome was signing in, because sometimes it's very hard to spell ComSolog, and also wait, what was the question again?
What was the first part of the question?
I think I said it was what are some of the biggest challenges, and then also just tell me in your opinion, what are some of the best things that you've done with this, or what are some of the things that you've done with it?
We dealt with having to connect more apps and having to collaborate with the whole class.
Good. Jada, do you want to add anything?
I also like how we can all be on one document at the same exact time, and we can go on Google Drive as long as you have internet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So this question is, what are some of the rules that we follow, both in terms of sharing work with each other and maybe editing work? We ran in, if you remember, the first time we started trying to all edit a common document, we ran into some trouble, right? So why don't you share a little bit about what that trouble was and what some of the solutions are we came up with?
Go ahead. Too many people were writing at the same time when you're not supposed to.
And then how do you resolve that?
You went to revision history and pressed restore this revision, and it would bring it back to normal.
But it wasn't that they were necessarily writing at the same time, right? What was more of the problem? Because we did figure out a solution that allowed everyone to write at the same time, right?
Did you find a solution to that? Lexi, do you have anything to add?
A lot of people were writing when
they weren't supposed to.
They weren't supposed to be, and also, yeah,
that's pretty much.
I think I'm gonna piggyback on top of you guys. Early on, one of the things that I found using it is that the more people you have editing a common document, the more it is the job of the teacher to provide a framework within that document that they could work. So, for example, early in the year, I think what they're referring to, we watched a video clip involving Lewis and Clark, and we had a common document they were keeping notes on for a follow-up assignment they were doing. And initially, there was just a place where they were all like trying to write in the same place, and they were deleting each other's work, and we had a lot of issues. So for me as a teacher, what I realized is the important thing to do is we then created a chart where everyone had their own specific place where they could write, so that then they were all able to edit that. Anyone else? Okay. All right. Anyone else want to share what you think are some of the best parts of Drive or some of the best things that we've done?
Or maybe some of the.
Or is there anything else that you want to share, period, that you think it's important for people to know about Drive?
David, go ahead.
I think it's important to know that there's other apps that you can use, such as Powtoons or what's it called? Live Booklet. So Simple Booklet, not Live. Simple Booklet.
Live Booklet.
No.
So many apps.
So those apps, you can write essays. In Powtoons, you're able to write a book report. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. So like what they're referencing is that, within Drive, you can connect to different apps outside of the normal Google suite of things. And as an elementary teacher, what I like about it is there are things that typically would require their own email to sign up for things, and that's kind of tough at this age. So it helps if they can connect to all those things through their Google account.
In my opinion, I think Google Drive is better than all the other, like Word.
The other.
Why do you think it's better?
Because you could actually share it with people. And you could all work at something on the same time.
Go ahead.
Is that instead of on Word, where it's a document on Drive, you can make presentations, surveys, everything.
How easy is it to do surveys?
Yeah. It's on our class blog.
Okay.
What did we use to make the survey?
We use Google Sheets.
Well, Google Form.
Okay.
And then how does that work with Sheets?
Like all the responses that we get will go in Sheets.
Okay.
Yeah, Sheets is Excel. It's like a
So
yeah. So what happens is, so we created like a survey on. We read the book Stars. We created a survey, and so any time someone answers the questions in the survey, it imports all the answers directly into the spreadsheet. So then we can. So like on Monday, we're having a Holocaust survivors come to speak to our class. So we're able to go through, and one of the questions on the survey was, what are some of the questions that the book raised around this topic? And so now we'll be able to, before Monday, go in, look at all the responses, and choose what we think are some of the best questions that we can direct in on Monday. So that's one of the newer things we've used. We just kind of introduced them to Google Forms. And so like now the next step is for them to be able to use it independently. So that's typically, as a teacher, I'll introduce new things, we'll do a whole class version, and then they start.
Is there a limit for having an account? Or is it just
No, every student in this district has a Google account, down to kindergarten. I don't know if they use them. I don't know the youngest grade that they actually use them, but every student has an account.
that they could access?
Right. Now, depending on the level, they have different, there's different settings and different things that they can do. Like in 5th grade, they don't they're not able to access Hangouts within their accounts. That's just the teacher ones. But I'm pretty sure once they go up to the middle school and high school, they can access Hangouts. I know, like Mr. Walsh's class over there, they've done tutorials on stuff like that. So I imagine that's what we're using here. Yeah. What you'll also notice here, what I like better than Skype is we're actually broadcasting this live on YouTube right now. So I just took this, I embedded it into my platform. So, like, Mrs. Harrington back there, actually, you were watching it before from home, right? And so, and then it will be uploaded later, so these guys can go home and watch and see how they did. So, and I'm sure millions around the globe are watching this. Awesome. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Next group can come on up. Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, your math system. Oh, okay.
I said I would come over.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
All for me?
No, for us.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
No, for us. I always do that to people. They'll be having a conversation and I'll hear something and I'm like, fine, that was amazing.
Very nice.
You don't want to see my hand. 24, tall, and has an Australian boyfriend. Actually, hearing it.
Well, I have no idea. Let's get up there. All right, so the next group, let's get ready over here.
Summer, we have an audience.
Okay, all right, we have a real live audience.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian St. Pierre. Is it still morning?
Yeah,
it is.
Yes, it is.
All right.
It is.
We've been at it for a while.
It's 11:30.
My name is Brian St. Pierre. I'm a fifth grade teacher at Comstock at Terryville Elementary around the corner. We have the distinction of being the best school in the world. And thank you. We worked hard to do it. These are some of my students. Back in our computer lab at Terryville, some of my other students are training another fifth grade class in Google Drive right now. And, fourth grade right now. Sorry, morning's blending together. Then I have, back in my classroom, I have another group of students who's going to be answering some questions that you may have after our presentation here. So, yeah. Get in your seat, Jaden. So my kids today are going to present to you on how we use Google Drive in our class, and then how we are in turn able to train other students, teachers, administrators, and school board members on how to use Google Drive. Okay, you guys want to tuck into the cart so the mic can pick you up, right? And let me get your presentation up. And go.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are from Mr. St. Pierre's class at Terra Elementary. We are excited to have you here today so we can show you what we have been doing in Google Drive. When we're finished, we have classmates back at Terra who will be able to answer any of your questions via Google Hangout. One thing that we love about Google Drive is that it's efficient. It saves us a lot of time when we are writing stories and essays because we are not writing our drafts over and over again. It allows us to type a draft, then easily go back and revise it or edit it. Otherwise, we will be writing paper copy after paper copy. It also allows you to store things and organize them into folders. We also love Google Drive because it gives us the ability to have our work a more polished and professional look. We use Drive to create, edit, and publish our work. Through Drive, we use docs, slides, and several other apps to create our work.
One of our favorite aspects of Google Drive is the ability to collaborate. Drive gives you the ability to share your work with others and they can either edit, view, or comment on your work. We use it to collaborate with classmates, students, and in our school community. By using Drive for group work, it spreads the work out more equitably than it does when we do it on. We have the ability to access work remotely with Google Drive. We can easily go home and do our work that we have to finish in class and do anything on the computer as long as we have internet access. We've even had students that were out of state do classwork from there by using Drive.
Because we teach Drive, it requires us to have a deeper understanding of what we are teaching. Therefore, we have learned a lot more about Drive so that we can now pass our knowledge on to others. Our classmates who have learned to use Google Drive have become turnkey trainers who can now pass their knowledge on to others. This has provided a real service to our school, and now it's just an ongoing cycle of teachers. When we teach Drive, it requires us to reflect and look back on our previous knowledge. This has given us a better idea of how to appropriately and efficiently use Drive since the beginning of the year.
We now have the ability to teach others how to use Google Drive. More students in our school learn the skills and efficiency of Google Drive. Students, teachers, administrators, and even school board members have benefited to teach what we've learned. Additionally, we've improved our self-confidence and have the ability to do a lot more than ever before. Thank you so much for allowing us to present to you today. Make sure you take a business card before you move on. By scanning the QR code, it will take you back to our presentation. You could use these links to access them that we created using Google Drive. Classmates back at Terryville now answer any questions that you may have via Google Drive.
Take a bow. Okay, so as mentioned, we have our panel of experts who can answer any question that you can possibly come up with. So, is there anyone who has any questions? Yes, sir.
What has been the hardest part about training other students and teachers how to use Drive?
Excellent question. Did you hear the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
The hardest part about training is that is signing in, because sometimes it won't work. Because
Why won't it work?
Correctly, or because you put instead of putting 04, you put just 4 as your password.
Like little mistakes, little spelling mistakes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Any other parts?
Okay. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay, so once you pass signing in, now everyone's signed in, what do you consider the hardest part?
The challenges you may have faced with the 3rd graders or the 5th graders.
Well, when I was training one of the 3rd graders, they weren't comprehending how to make a document. So, yeah, that was hard.
They weren't using it appropriately.
What do you mean by that, Alex?
Like putting pictures, weird pictures.
Oh, they weren't using it appropriately.
Yeah.
They were putting weird pictures on or something. So controlling what they were doing.
Yeah.
So is it? Well, you know. So, is it fair to say that in addition to being able to teach how to use Drive, it's important that students know how to use it appropriately?
Yeah.
Did you say so?
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Did you hear that?
No.
Okay. How has using it changed the way you learn in school overall?
How has using Google Drive changed the way you learn in school?
Well, you're more organized in Google Drive because you don't have to be like having so many different folders and worrying about losing anything. It's like
Lexi, go ahead and add on to that.
yeah.
Also, it saves automatically, so you don't have to worry about losing any papers or anything. Also, it makes rewriting stuff much easier because you could just go back instead of having to write all of the whole over. And
Just go back.
and also, it just keeps you organized.
What about sharing with your classmates?
That's easier too. Instead of having like a whole group come, you can just make a document or post or Google Drawings or Google Sheet. You can make whatever you need, and you can just collaborate with your group.
Also, it's like if someone has like sloppy handwriting and can't really read it.
You could be like you can read it.
Can I ask a question? When would you be reading someone else's work?
If you're like sharing it with someone.
Or if you're working on a project.
What were one of the projects maybe you've worked on?
The Lewis and Clark project we've worked on. The Supreme Court.
And how did you do that?
For the Supreme Court, we used a slideshow.
So each of you could go into the slideshow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever's in your group.
Could go into the slideshow and edit?
Yeah.
How is the collaboration feature on there different than doing group work just on paper when you're in class?
Collaboration feature, you don't need to like you can do it at home. You don't have to meet up at like somebody else's house. You can do it at home and like set a certain time, and you can just do it at home. You don't have to just work on it at class, or also it's easier because maybe one person is trying to take all control, then whoever created the document can just make it on view, comment, or edit.
Or they could
take them out.
Yeah.
So you could spread it more.
Well, not only the owner that makes it.
All right. Any other questions? Yes. Okay. Have you run into any problems with people accessing your work when you don't want them to?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have because one time I was sharing a document with one of my friends, and I think it was like her brother or something kept on going in, so that was like annoying to us.
So how could you fix that problem?
We can just remove that person from the group,
or put them on view only.
You guys want to chime in there?
Yes. So when you share a document or a presentation with someone, you can put them in different settings. You can either put them in edit, view, or comment. So they can either just look at your work, they can just comment on it, or they can edit it. They can do what they want to.
And did you share with a group of 5 people?
Yeah, you could, like, let's say I wanted one person to edit and the other not to, I could do that.
Only one person has.
Yeah, the only person who makes the document.
Yeah, okay.
For
My last question would be, have you ever found that files were lost?
Have you ever lost the file?
Okay. Oh, you heard that?
Yeah, we heard it.
Yeah.
I've never lost a file before.
Unless you remove it.
Unless I removed it.
Everything saves automatically,
So it does. You don't have to worry about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It is not only do we like the automatic saving aspect, but the other thing as a teacher that I've found to be like a real lifesaver is, like in the old days, you might accidentally delete something and it's gone forever. Now, like with Google Drive has the revision history.
Trash.
So, we've like things that in the past would have been like a major crisis, we've averted now because you just go back to the last revision history and restore that, and we're good. So I think we've used. How many people here have benefited from the revision history before? Yeah. Okay. So that's that kind of saves me time too, because it's not stuff they have to go back.
Which I read it for an hour and a half.
Right. We have 2 minutes if anyone has any more questions. You have a question?
Yeah. Why do you recommend Google Drive?
Okay. Shannon wants to know why you recommend Google Drive.
What? Why do you recommend Google Drive?
I recommend Google Drive because like I've worked in Word before and I really don't like it because it's a little more confusing for me and it's probably confusing to younger kids. So Google Drive, I feel like they're very
User friendly?
yeah, pretty much. And you don't have to worry about any unsafe things popping up or and also if you're doing something wrong, your teacher can just if your teacher has your username and password, they can just see what you're doing wrong. So yeah.
No one else has anything to add why you would recommend it? Go ahead, Lexi.
I recommend it because of the collaboration feature. Because you can work with, since we worked with our whole class at the same time, it's been much easier. And also, I recommend the revision history, since you could go back and get anything from whatever you made, and makes life much so easier.
Great job. We're going to move to the next session.
Okay. I'm going to go to the bathroom quickly. Are you going to be quick? You have to be like super quick. Yeah. You guys, super quick.
Yeah.
She's my soccer mom.
That's right. Good to see you. Oh,
I don't have a soccer mom. Oh no.
Means your coach?
Yeah, no, that was actually fine.
Timo.
It just so happened that I trying it every way, like someone else was running down the hall. Jeff, what's your number? Before I even gave it to her, then she called me. So, she was fired up.
Yeah, she was. She's always fired
I
up.
know, that's true.
Hey, have a seat, guys.
Is there not going to be an audience?
I hope there's an audience. Whoa, that's a lot.
What?
This is our last.
That's all the people.
It's the last one.
This is the last.
And then we have to eat.
Until lunch. No. Mr. St. Pierre,
I said
are we
maybe
gonna have
dinner.
2 wraps?
I don't know what.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that matters.
No, the biggest question of the day is there more options to eat?
Okay, question and answer, people. We're getting ready for our last one, all right?
I think there might be another choice.
Filet mignon. What do you think, guys?
Hello. Yeah. What happens?
Okay, so that's probably not what I'm looking for right now, right? Okay, so pull in tight. You're gonna, because you're not going there. All right.
Just in time for the first.
Okay, good morning or afternoon, whatever it is now, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian St. Pierre. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Perryville Elementary, which is around the corner. These are some of my students. They're going to be presenting to you this morning on how we use Google Drive in our 5th grade class and how we train others to use Google Drive within our school community. And then we have another group of my students back in my classroom who will answer any questions you may have via Google Hangouts. And then we have another third group of my students who are in our computer lab at Terryville, who you'll get to see their training another class, a 4th grade class there as we speak. So we will start in. You guys can begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Comstock High School. We are from Mr. St. Pierre's 5th grade class at Terryville Road Elementary School. We're excited to have you here today so we can show you how we've been able to use Google Drive in our classes. When we are finished, if you have any questions, we have classmates back at Terryville that will be able to answer any questions that you may have via Google Hangouts. One thing that we love about Google Drive is that it's efficient. It saves us a lot of time when we are writing stories or essays, so we don't have to write our drafts over and over again. It easily allows us to type a draft and then go back to revise or edit it. Otherwise, we would be writing paper copy after paper copy. It also easily allows us to store and organize things into folders. We also love Drive because it gives us more of a polished and professional look. We use Drive to create, edit, and publish our work. Through Drive, we use Docs, Slides, and several other apps to create our work.
One of our favorite aspects of Google Drive is having the ability to collaborate. Drive gives us the ability to share with others and also edit, view, or comment on your work. We use it to collaborate with our classmates, our teachers, and others at the school community. By using Google Drive as how we do group work, it spreads the work out more equitably than how we do on paper. We have the ability to access and complete work remotely with Google Drive. We can easily finish our work from when we started to class all the way to home. We even had kids out of state and finish their work by using Google Drive.
When we teach Google Drive, we are required to have a deeper understanding of what we are teaching. Therefore, we have learned a lot more about Drive so that we can share our knowledge with others. Our students who have learned Drive have become turnkey trainers to other people. This has provided a real service to our school and is an ongoing success. When we teach Google Drive, we are required to reflect on our learning and refine our understanding. We have a better idea of how to appropriately and efficiently use Google Drive than we did in the beginning of it.
Okay, so as we mentioned, you can see here is our, these are students of mine who are training another class here. And then here we have students who can answer questions for you. So, any questions? Okay. Well, let's start with this then. Question and answer group. Why don't you start off by sharing what you think are some of the best reasons why Google Drive is helpful for 5th grade students?
One thing that I like is the posters that we can make, because instead of typing it all out, you can put pictures and you can put little like speech bubbles
Instead of writing it out?
Yeah, instead of writing it out. You can put little like speech bubbles or shapes. So I like that.
And that's using what app?
Google Drawings.
Yeah, right. What about you, Lexi? What would you say would be the most beneficial thing with the 5th grader?
I'm gonna go with what Jaden said, because
You like that too?
yeah, I like it because again you get to make posters, and instead of having to like draw it out, you could like use the computer mouse and scribble with the thing.
About you, Alex? What do you like about Google Drive?
What Jaden said.
So I'll go with Jaden.
Wait,
I also like the collaborating feature. So, collaborating. Collaborating.
What about you, Matt?
The collaboration. We can all work on something at the same time.
Okay.
You have a question?
Is there a way teachers could check on their students to see if they're doing any appropriate things? And I want Matt Walsh to answer that.
Don't just say yes. And check if they have their account and their password.
Any adult questions? Yes. We have writers' notebooks where we'll generate ideas, but I would say almost entirely. Otherwise, my writing curriculum is in Drive. We the only thing we're really limited by is access. We have one lab, and so it's access to that lab. But over the last few years, I have, little by little, more and more of what I do. What I do, I have kind of, I've been able to use Drive for different features of that. So yes, we do still have a writer's notebook, but virtually everything else is in Drive. Yes. Yeah, the settings for the elementary age students. In regards to Drive, there's no restrictions. In the only restriction that I can think of, and I'm not saying there's not others, but that we've really come into play with are, like, they don't have access to Google Hangouts, so that is right. Google Plus is out, but as far as Drive goes, they don't. For the most part. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. For my class, that's the only place we store documents. One of the reasons that I've really embraced it is because it's just made things that much simpler for me. They don't have to store it anywhere else. Everything I need is easy to access right there, and they can access it anywhere. What we're seeing in the district over this, like I think our third year as a Google school now, I think over the course of those 3 years, I think you're seeing in the district more and more that's the case. Whereas early on, everyone kind of had their own thing, but it's becoming more streamlined. Not really. Not really. Exactly. So like what I have, or what I should say, what they have in their accounts. Their accounts will be good till they leave here, and so like when we started this year, a good number of them had used Drive in 4th grade, and so they had lots of their work. So for me, what I do is I had them create one folder called 4th grade, and they just moved everything into that because most of it I wasn't going to have them accessing anymore. But from a district perspective, it's nice to be able to have that continuum. And so, what we'll do at the end of the year is I'm going to have them move all their work into a 5th grade folder, and then they'll have that. And so, it is from a teacher's perspective, we're not deep enough into this yet where I've really been able to benefit too much by looking back at previous year's work of theirs. I think each year that we've done this, more and more teachers have gotten on board and started to use it. But we still have a lot of people, particularly at the elementary level, who are still gaining those skills, who are still kind of getting their feet wet with it. And even among my class, I'd say probably most of them used it in 4th grade. Maybe a third of them used it in 3rd grade, and none of them before that. So, the first couple of years, the beginning of 5th grade was teaching them how to log in and stuff like that, which was the tough thing about logging in for us is you have to spell Comsolog right. That's not even easy for me, but as we've gone along each year, that's become easier. And so, by next year, I would expect what you're talking about, the ability to look back at previous year's work, will start to become more beneficial. Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's one of the big, and for me, just because I'm the type of, if I get a paper file, like it goes on my desk and it vanishes into thin air, Right. So for me, I love just having it all in there, so I can access any of that when I need it. Any other questions? Yes.
Out of curiosity, you guys teach younger students or adults?
You guys. So now, students, you've taught other students, okay, and you've taught adults now, presented to adults. You actually, now, I have some students who actually did a training session with our school board, too, in terms of how to use this. So what audience do you find the easiest to work with?
I think more easier to work with the adults because I feel like it's more like you teach them more because for the third graders we taught, it took us longer to do a little things. We taught the adults more things.
Okay. Michaela?
I would probably say the school board member because, like Shannon said, they're older, they were adults, and they listened more, so we could get into more advanced things. And they were kind of like an audience to talk to. They were joking around with us.
Third graders feel bad. Any other adult questions before we're... All right. Go ahead, Emma. You want to chime in?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I taught my brother how to do a few things to drive. I drive that he has. But if I gave him a test, share a document with me or something like that, he'd be blank and know what to do. But I showed my mother
Funny how that works. Okay. Well, at any point during lunch, if you have questions, feel free to grab they're the experts here, and enjoy your stay in Council.
Lunchtime.
Yeah, you guys are
Lunchtime.
all right. So, excuse me, Marky. Excuse me.
Bye. Have a good day.
Okay. You guys are done.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. And that class. Okay, those trainers, and we are going to stop the broadcast, right? Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our broadcast.
Bye.